Start off first with what we got. We got some brakes. Those are some DS1 brakes, brand new. Some brake pads, wheel bearings, or wheel hub. My wheel bearing's pretty bad. I'll put a clip right now so you can hear what it sounds like. And then we got some brake hardware. Let's get started. First things first, gonna jack up the car, take off the wheels, and we'll go from there. All right, so we took the tires off, we took the brake hardware off. Now we just gotta kind of figure some way out to take the brake pads off, then take this off, and so on and so on. So I took the caliper off. I had to hang it there with a zip tie. Now took off my spacer bolts, but it doesn't seem like it wants to come out, so I gotta figure out a way to take that out, and then I gotta take out the rotor as well. So about an hour of hammering and a bunch of stuff, finally got it loose. Now I just gotta take it out. It's not gonna be easy with one hand, but it is what it is. Just hope I don't cut myself, because you know I'm best at cutting myself. Okay, well, let me do that off camera. And get back to it. Finally, after 2 hours, after 1 hour of banging the rotor, I did not use heat, I just used PV blaster. And you hear that? You hear that? So you know it's bad. And so, gotta change this other side as well. Already got the process started on the other side. Took off the brake pads. Took off the rotor, put some PP plaster in there, and then a bunch of kit. This side came out a lot easier. I think because I knew where to spray the PP plaster, I made sure to spray it in on here, just because that's where it's probably stuck, and then between these, and then inside the rotor as well, where the slits of the rotor, and then from the back a little bit, and then just you know, I wouldn't say a few, I'd say a lot of hammering, and then that thing just went out, and that's that. So now it's time to get off the wheel bearing, the wheel hub, see how that goes. After you turn the steering wheel to the right, for the right side at least, we're gonna use a 17 millimeter bolt to get the 4 back bolts off. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see them. It's gonna be hard to show. 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. You just gotta take these off and go from there. Well, I unbolted both that end of the bolts. Turn the steering wheel the other way. Now I gotta reach in from back here and get it. Tip of advice, get yourself a breaker bar. Makes the process a lot easier. It absolutely so much easier with not just that, but anything really, with the rims, spacers, brake, just anything you want. After using the breaker bar to just get the bolt loose, I'm gonna now head on and start unbolting it with my regular bolt. I would do this at the same time as I'm filming, but it's so difficult. It ain't even a joke. All right, there you go. My last bolt. There's all 4 of them. Now, let's see how easy this goes off, or maybe difficult. Let's find out. All right, so something that I gotta do after doing so much research, found out that the nut and bolt thing is gonna work out, so I gotta take out these nuts from my punching bag stand, and we'll see how that goes. Clearly, this didn't work. I broke the bolt. I tried to squidge that in, but hey, it might have worked. Let me try kicking this thing. I think my hammer is going bad. Yeah, I definitely broke that bolt. Let's look at this. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's definitely not gonna work. If this didn't get it, well, I might have opened Yeah, it did. It did open it a little bit. Yeah. Oh, look at that mess, but look at that. After I did that nut and bolt thing, the thing worked out. The bolt did break because obviously it's not a hardened bolt. If it was a hardened bolt, it probably would have worked, but because whatever, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So there's that. I took this one off. It opened up a little bit. I used this with some hammer, and I also used a pry bar with some hammer as well, and eventually got it off. So now I just gotta clean it off. My backing plate is bye-bye. This is bye-bye as well. Gotta have a new one in, and just gotta clean that up, and we'll go from there. I just wanted to let you guys see the difference between the new one and the old one. Yeah, that thing was surely going bad. You can't even see, like you can see the spindles. You can put that in, but you can't see it in here. Or maybe you don't have it. I don't know. It is what it is. Got a new one in. Just cleaned that up. Couldn't clean it better than this, to be honest with you. So we gotta put some anti-seize, and then once that's done, we'll put that in, bolt it in, torque spec it. Forgot to mention that I took off the ABS sensor. Definitely gonna put that one back whenever we're done. I kind of messed up my brakes a little bit, the paint of it. Yeah, it wasn't easy. So gotta clean that up, and whenever I'm done with it, and put the new brakes in. All right, the new hub is in. I put some anti-seize over there, all the way inside as well, just that way I won't, if I ever have to replace it again, which I doubt it, I don't have to go through the whole struggle again of all that. Man, look at all that rust. All that rust is from the brake rotor. It is what it is, Canada. So anyways, here's my torque wrench. My first application for my torque wrench. Finally, excited to use it. I gotta use it on that. I think I gotta torque it down to 65 foot-pound. That's what Google said, so gotta trust Google, you already know. Right now that's torque to spec. Next thing we gotta do is not clean up this mess yet. That's brake clean. So we're gonna use brake clean on my new brakes. Oh my God, such a mess. Gotta clean all that stuff up. Anyways, my new brakes, open that up, clean it up, install. All right, so my brake rotor is in. Just gotta torque down the bolts in the back for the caliper. I really did mess up my caliper though. But it is what it is. Okay. I think I gotta torque it down to 91 foot-pounds. And we'll go from there. Now that my brakes are torqued down, gotta put on those new pads and the new hardware. Good stuff. You already know how it be. All right, so I just installed my brake pads and my hardware. This is pretty smooth. Now I just gotta put on my spacer. Oh my God, I think I need to figure out a way to clean this before I put it on. Yeah, once I put my spacers on, and then we'll put the rim back on, clean up the mess, and we'll get to the other side tomorrow when it's a little bright outside now, when it's 2 a.m. because I've been working on this car for quite a long time now. So all you gotta do now is just put some anti-seize, because this was pretty hard to take off when I tried to take it off today. So I'm gonna put some anti-seize on here. That way, if I ever need to take it off again, maybe change them out, maybe I change my wheel setup, anything like that, it'll go off pretty easy. These spacers are H&R, 25mm spacers for those who are asking. I had them on since the first day I got the car. That was my first mod ever. Love them. My new rims, if it wasn't for that spacer, they'd be rubbing on this. So I'm glad that I got that settled. So let's go from there. All right, so my wheel spacers are in. Now I just gotta torque them down to 85 to 95 foot-pounds torque, and then we'll go from there. Never mind, it budged after all. So I did take off the other side, but let me zoom in so you can see. And if you know what that is, you already know. I broke my ABS sensor, so I gotta go to the dealer tomorrow and get new ABS sensor, and then probably hook it up all the way to there, and then yeah, go from there. So that's in. Now I gotta put on the hub and the brakes and get it going. So now that this side is in, finally torqued down to spec. Now it's time to bring the rotor install the rotor, put the brakes in, brake pads, and torque them down as well. So what happened was I ripped my brake lines. Now I gotta wait till Z1 ships me some steel braided lines. I gotta hook up, and also my ABS sensor I broke in here, so a bunch of stuff that I broke. So there's that. I just gotta wait. I'm gonna put everything back together because this is not gonna need it for, I mean, I don't have to have this off so I can install my steel braided lines. So I'm gonna put everything back together just like how it is, put the rims back on, lower the car, maybe move it to the side because I gotta put the other car in here, and we'll go from there. All right, so another day today. I got myself some upstream O2 sensors, and I also got myself ABS line. It was used because the dealership was so expensive, so I kind of got one from a part out vehicle. And I also got myself this because it was already missing from my last roof wrap, and it just flew off on the highway. So I'm probably gonna switch that ABS sensor. Well, finally I got my Z1 fuel line. Look at that. Look at that. So I already took off my old lines. It goes all the way, it literally just goes like that. Goes from this end, behind the knuckle, and back into here. All right, so now that's in. Now what I gotta do is I gotta fill up my brake fluid. Once I fill up my brake fluid, I'm gonna test it out, see if there's any leaks. If there ain't no leaks, then we'll go from there. All right, so I just depressed the brakes to check for leaks. There isn't any leaks on the new wires I installed. Everything checks out pretty nice. Now it's time to use that one-man brake leader wrench or kit. All right, so now that the car is jacked up on 4 wheels, got to take off the rear 2 wheels and then start with the bleeding process. So finally, sound's been fixed. Sound is gone. You can't hear it. The ride's smooth as smooth can be. The only issue I got was running with these ABS light, traction control, slip. I think, I don't know why, but I think it's my ABS sensor that's not hooked up right, or it could be that my wheel bearings don't have an ABS sensor. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I gotta figure this out. But the sound's gone, so we got new brakes, and so got that going.